PMLA, and this is in the National Herald case. CNN News 18 has accessed the Enforcement Directorate note that could eventually find its way into the charge sheet. This shows entire flow of transactions. Young Indian was incorporated as an SPV, Special Purpose Vehicle, on the 23rd of November 2010. AJL closed its publishing activity in 2008 and owned properties worth hundreds of crores of rupees. A criminal conspiracy was hatched by the accused to give control of properties worth hundreds of crores of AJL to the beneficial owners of YI, that is Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. This is what the ED is saying. YI, or Young Indian, asked AJL to repay a loan of 90.21 crore assigned to it by the AICC or convert this loan into equity. The appointment of the same set of people took place in AJL, Young Indian and the AICC. A loan of 9.21 crore was assigned to Young Indian for a paltry sum of 50 lakh by passing resolutions by the same set of people holding positions in these three entities. This is what the probe agency is saying. AJL called an EGM to increase the authorized capital and to convert the loan of Young Indian into equity. Young Indian was allotted 9.021 crore shares of AJL. That's what the Enforcement Directorate is alleging. The EGM was attended by the same set of people and a resolution was passed to increase the authorized share capital of AJL to convert the loan of Young Indian into equity. YI allegedly became, or Young Indian allegedly became, the holding company of AJL, holding 99% of the shares, and the equity of other shareholders dropped to 1%. Now, according to the investigation and according to the Enforcement Directorate note that we have accessed, under the criminal conspiracy that was executed, the control of assets of AJL worth hundreds of crores of rupees was transferred to the beneficial owners of Young Indian. Now, based on extensive investigation, including collection of multiple documentary evidences, recording of statements of the accused and witnesses, and money trail, the ED in April 2025 filed a charge sheet or a prosecution complaint under PMLA 2002 against the following accused for the offence of money laundering involving proceeds of crime of current market value of more than 5,000 crore rupees. Sonia Gandhi has been named as accused number 1, Rahul Gandhi named as accused number 2, Suman Dubey is accused number 3, Sam Pitroda is accused number 4, Young Indian as accused number 5. The BJP questioning the mindset of the Congress party, which has threatened nationwide protests, beg your pardon. The BJP leaders have mounted an attack at the Congress party, alleging that a newspaper that was established in the freedom struggle to espouse the voice of those fighting British imperialism has degenerated into a money-minting exercise for the Congress party establishment. The Congress has called it malice and vendetta by the government. Congress further clarified that Young Indian is a not-for-profit organization under Section 8 and it didn't do any financial transactions. Listen.
हेराल्ड केस को लेकर आज कांग्रेस पार्टी देश भर में तथाकथित प्रदर्शन कर रही है। नेशनल हेराल्ड केस भारत के इतिहास का बहुत विचित्र प्रकार का केस है, जिसमें खरीदने वाले और बेचने वाले दोनों एक ही थे।
पूरे प्रकरण में कोई ट्रांजैक्शन, कोई प्रॉफिटेरिंग, कोई लैंड डील, कोई पैसा, कोई तनख्वाह, एक पैसे का कोई लेन देन नहीं है, तो इसको मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग कैसे आप करार दे रहे हैं? ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ सोनिया गांधी जी और राहुल गांधी जी को टारगेट करने का काम किया है।
The flow of transactions as per the ED note, does that highlight gross malpractice or political vendetta? If Young Indian was a non-profit organization, who will explain the transfers of hundreds of crores of rupees worth of property that is accrued in earning to the beneficiaries of Young Indian? That is the Gandhis. That's the question. Let's dive into the debate. Is this political vendetta, or is it finally prima facie what was noted as an act of corruption, or there is some aaji-baji by the courts themselves when bail was granted back in 2015? There is some movement even by the government agencies. How would you perceive it? Let's dive into the debate. Shehzad Poonawalla, national spokesperson of the BJP, Nikhil Jain, political analyst with us, and Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, political commentator and scientist with us. Shehzad Poonawalla, what is this? बिहार के चुनाव आ रहे हैं एंड आपने फिर से यंग इंडियन और एजेएल खोल दिया. द बीजेपी क्यों? Why is this? Why are you unleashing your agencies just ahead of elections? That's the charge.
देखिए आनंद जी, क्योंकि आपने हिंदी में शुरुआत की है तो मैं एक कपलेट बोल देता हूँ। करेंगे हम भ्रष्टाचार, मानेंगे इसे अपना जनसिद्ध अधिकार, बोलेंगे ये हमारी पार्टी का शिष्टाचार, कार्रवाई हो तो चिल्लाएंगे अत्याचार अत्याचार। और जैसे आनंद रंगनाथन बोलते हैं, इस देश में आपके और मेरे पास पैन कार्ड, आधार कार्ड, राशन कार्ड है, कांग्रेस के पास विक्टिमहुड कार्ड है। नाउ आई विल टेक, देखिए आनंद की कुछ लाइनें तो लेनी ही पड़ेगी। आनंद जी बताएंगे आपको कि ये पूरा का पूरा केस तब शुरू हुआ 2012 में जब यूपीए की सरकार थी। A court has given the order, and you know what the court said at the time of giving the order? It said that young Indian was created at a sham or a cloak to convert public money for personal use. मतलब जनता का माल जेब में डाल 2000 करोड़ रुपीस अपने आप ले लो, जैसे वक्फ प्रॉपर्टीज को घेर लेता है वैसे गांधी परिवार भी वही कर रहा था। After that they have gone to the High Court, they have gone to the Supreme Court, they have appealed the IT assessment order in the High Court and Supreme Court, they have got no relief. Now I have 2 or 3 questions. They are saying that this is vendetta. Anand, you remember 2023? Both Anands will remember that we have done innumerous debates that 14 parties went to the Supreme Court and said that look, ED CBI is being misused. The Supreme Court threw that petition out. Thirdly, this is the same Congress party which says the ED and CBI karwai on Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is perfect, but when the karwai is on me, it is gunegar. It is on Arvind Kejriwal, it is chamatkar. Then who is the one talking? The ones who have used CBI and ED against Mulayam Singh Yadav, they are the ones who are saying this. Mulayam Singh Yadav had said that Congress party used to use CBI and ED. But today I want to ask one thing, that if this is a case that has been made up, why don't you get the relief from the court? First point. Secondly, how can AJL, which has 5,000 shareholders, and then ultimately when it was shutting down, it had no paper to publish, it had 1,000 plus shareholders, it had properties worth 2,000 crores, it had a loan of 90 crores which the Congress party gives it a loan. How can Congress party give a loan to AJL? Chalo now 90 crore ka loan de diya. After that a young Indian company is created and the loan is reassigned from the loan is assigned to the young Indians for a sum of just 50 lakh rupees, and that 50 lakh rupees also came from Dotex. Now with the loan of 90 crores on young Indians, the young Indians says that AJL should pay the loan. At that time AJL is saying that I don't have the money to pay the loan. So AJL's 99% shares are given to young Indians, and the shares included shares of Shanti Bhushan, it included shares of Markandeya Katju and his family, and they have complained that the way the shares were transferred to young Indians was completely illegal. It is not BJP party which has done this. Finally, look at this model that for a 50 lakh rupee sum, you are taking over the assets worth 2,000 crores. Although they are not transferred in your name, the beneficial interest in them is transferred to you, and therefore the rental property of the rental income of all these properties starts coming to you. And then, now hear this, Congress party forgives the loan for young Indians. If Congress party wanted to forgive the loan, why didn't it do it when it was with AJL? Are you seeing the kind of scam? So this was nothing but an elaborate scam, just like a corporate fraud that was done. And this is a Waqf board mansikta ki we will grab whatever property belongs to the people, the land that belongs to the people. And you can see from Karnataka Muda scam, Valmiki scam to this kind of National Herald scam, the mindset is Janta Kamal Jeb Mein Dal.
Nikhil Jain, how would you want to respond to this? Namaste.
So Anand, I think Shehzad has very clearly pointed out to your viewers how very incompetent the Enforcement Directorate is, or either that or what Shehzad Poonawalla is showing on the show is an absolute bunch of lies. So if the case was filed in 2012 and there's all this information available in public domain, and Shehzad, my good friend, knows about all the irregularities in the deal and how the Gandhis gave no money and they gave a bunch of lakhs to take over properties, beneficial interest in properties worth about 2,000 crores. Why has the ED not been able to file a charge sheet in the court, move forward with the trial and get the Gandhis convicted? The fact of the matter is that this government has been there for over 11 years. There is no substance in the case, which is why what they're able to do every single time they are feeling politically weak, like they were on the back foot in the Waqf issue, they will issue a summons to a set of summons to the Gandhis that would create a political furor in the country. After a couple of months, the entire thing will die down yet again and again and again. In 2023, they issued summons to Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. They appeared, they cooperated. Then what was the ED doing in the past 2 years? Nothing. And also, it's very important for your viewers to know what exactly is National Herald. It's the Associated Journals Limited, which essentially was a joint stock company, public company, unlisted company that was the brainchild of Jawaharlal Nehru. And the stock owners of that company were a bunch of freedom fighters, by the way, none of whom were from the RSS, pretty much all of them were from the Congress. And eventually, that company published a newspaper called the National Herald and also another Urdu newspaper called the Qaumi Awaz. Now, the National Herald still sustains as a brand, even though the circulation may be very limited. I'm not even sure if the physical circulation is still there or not. And the Qaumi Awaz does not circulate anymore. What the organization is left with is a bunch of properties and a huge bunch of loans. And the Gandhis, Congress Party, and other people associated with the company help repay the loans. Now, original stock owners cannot come around and say that loans have been paid, we did not pay the loans, we did not infuse capital into the company, yet all of the equity and all of the beneficial interest in the assets has to be ours. At the end of the day, whoever is contributing capital into the company to clear off the dues of the company would get a larger share of equity. I'm not entirely sure how the financial transactions were proceeded with, but I would expect the enforcement directorate to come out clean, tell the people of the country that what fraud have the Gandhis done, if indeed they've done something. And if they've not done any fraud, then the enforcement directorate should focus on more important cases like the BSNL group not charging the Geo group for 1,800 crores worth of towers that were used by it in the past 10 years. And many other corruption cases that are there in the country.
Shahzad Poonawalla and then Dr. Ranganathan. Shahzad Poonawalla, please. Atyachar, Bhrashtachar or Shishtachar? Which one? See, because Nikhil Jain is saying what has been done.
But
Congress party has paid off the loan.
Nikhil
So the
Jain
Congress
को-
principals are now, as part of Young Indian, the main shareholders. What's wrong here?
नो भ्रष्टाचार शिष्टाचार अत्याचार पर बनते हैं हम इतिहासकार. लेट अस बिकम इतिहासकार. He has quoted that freedom fighters were part of this AJL. Yes, he's absolutely right. वो freedom fighters के नाम पर young Indians के शेयर नहीं दिए. They gave it to Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. I don't know what contribution Sonia Gandhi had for freedom fighting. But if you were so committed to the cause, then you should have given it at least to the ex officio Congress president post. But you have given it directly, personally to Sonia Gandhi and to Rahul Gandhi. What was the intention? And let me tell you what the Itihas says. Itihas says Sardar Patel, 5th May 1950. 75,000 rupees contribution has come to National Herald. Which people have given this? He raised question marks on it and he asked Nehru that such kind of shady people are giving this money. I am not comfortable. Next day they have got a contract. But Nehru ji ignored him. Then Chandra Bhanu Gupta, UP CM
But
for 3
continued with him as the
times.
Home
He has
Minister
said
of
in
the
his
country.
kitab,
in the
Safai,
Congress party.
please, I understand, and therefore he was telling you that stop doing corruption, but you did not listen to your own home minister. Now listen to the 3-time chief minister. मुझे हैरानी है कि नेहरू फैमिली की जायदाद बन चुकी है AJL. अगर इंक्वायरी होगी तो फ्रॉड सामने आएगा. हम सब आचार्य देव, पुरुषोत्तम टंडन, शिव प्रसाद गुप्ता हमारे शेयर बेचते हैं और नेहरू के नाम पर खरीदे जाते हैं और वो डायरेक्टर बन जाते हैं. फंड्स कांग्रेस का और मनी बैग से लिया जाता है. दिस इज इन हिज बुक. नाउ आई एम सेइंग ये पहले से ही इनकी आदत है नेशनल हेराल्ड में स्कैम करने की. बट आई हैव 2-3 स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चंस. मिस्टर निखिल जैन हैज सेड कि 11 साल से क्या कर रहे थे. दैट मींस इट्स नॉट वेंडेटा. अरे 11 साल अगर लग गए तो हाउ कैन यू से देन इट इज वेंडेटा. सेकंड पॉइंट, व्हाई हैवंट यू गॉट रिलीफ इफ देयर इज नो मैटर इन दिस केस? Why is the Supreme Court not giving you relief? And third and last point, that how can Congress give loan to AJL? And let us assume it has given the loan to AJL. It gets reassigned to YI and YI only pays 50 lakh and then the Congress waives off that loan. Why Congress did not waive off the loan for AJL? And why Congress Karyakartas who are in crores of numbers buy the papers of AJL? There are 3 papers, not 2. Qaumi Awaz, Navjivan, obviously you don't remember Navjivan, you only remember Qaumi Awaz, and National Herald. The 3 papers, if the Karyakartas of Congress had subscribed to it, then only the 90 crores could have been taken out, the loan could have been taken off. But they did not subscribe. Either the papers were farji or the Karyakartas are farji.
Nikhil Jain, quick rebuttal.
First of all,
Allow
I
me
never
to
said
test
it's
Dr.
vendetta.
Ranganathan's patience a little more. Yes.
It's fine.
I never
I'm
said
enjoying
it's
this.
Shehzad, I never said that it's political vendetta. All that I'm saying is that the BJP uses it as a measure of distraction. That is why you keep the case in a cold storage and just bring it up whenever you find it politically convenient. Secondly, you raise the point about why are they not getting any relief from the court. They would get a relief from the court when there is a strong punitive action, like when they're put in custody or when they are convicted or something like that. You cannot go to court and ask for the quashing of a case just like that. Very often courts do not interfere and quash an ongoing case. Let the charge sheet be filed and you can. I am telling you that. The point is that it's not often done. That's not to say that the court is not willing to grant any relief. You have to first move a substantial punitive action against a person in order for them to get the case quashed or to get that relief, which the Gandhis are not moving for. Why can you guys not file the charge sheet here? 11 years you've been in government. so many facts. The spokesperson of the BJP knows. Why does the ED director and the investigating officer in the case not know these facts and present it before the courts of law?
Sir, either decide one thing. Either you say that you've given us too much of a leeway, 11 साल कुछ नहीं किया. But then why is the Congress party threatening nationwide protests and etc. and saying political vendetta? You can't say both. You can't say that, okay, today 4 p.m. I'll bajao the dhol from the right hand, then 5 p.m. I'll bajao the dhol from the left hand. That's not fair. Either you turn around and tell the BJP there is nothing here, that's why you've taken 11 years. Or when they move to prosecute, say, okay, finish the matter quickly. If there is something, let's meet in court. Why threaten streets and why threaten protests, etc.? Yeah,
I'll tell you why. You don't need to keep on questioning people again and again by sending them summons and holding them up. You've done enough investigation to simply go to the court. That is what that's not what the ED is doing.
No,
that is the problem.
You know what it does when a Robert Vadra is called.
For random questioning.
You can question and criticize the ED for delay, but when a Robert Vadra is summoned, or a Rahul Gandhi or Sonia Gandhi or Sam Pitroda or Suman Dubey, whenever they are summoned, they are called. It smacks of entitlement to try and make it a media tamasha and also to walk on the streets and say, how dare they call us? You know, rarely have we seen politicians celebrate getting bail. It was celebrated like a victory parade. That smacks of entitlement, irrespective of which political party and which leader. And I'm sure viewers will agree. If it's a court process, why make a whole show of it that the court has given you bail? They've granted you bail. 10 years of somebody is on bail, nothing's been done about it. Well, the petitioner was an individual there, so we'll have to ask Dr. Subramanian Swamy what, and he turns around and says ED has not done anything. Now when they're doing something, they're saying vendetta. Dr. Ranganathan?
Good evening, Anand, and good evening to my fellow panelists and friends Shehzad and Nikhil. You're right, Rahul Gandhi seems to be this time round in a pickle. And you know the Hindi of pickle, it is achar, and this is a specific type of achar, bhrashtachar. And as far as my good friend Nikhil, a couple of points, I'm sorry about that pun, but we're having a wonderful discussion.
It's a serious matter में भी PJ.
Yeah, इसमें मुझे bail मिलनी चाहिए. इसमें I implore Shehzad to fight my case there. No, but for Nikhil to talk about that, look, National Herald fought, was a paper used by freedom fight. There is no connection with what National Herald as a newspaper did to what the scam National Herald has been involved in. I mean, it's like saying that Kohinoor has been stolen and you talk wax eloquent for 10 minutes about the worthiness of Kohinoor. It's completely unrelated. Secondly, and more importantly, the fact of the matter is that when Nikhil talks about the inefficiency of the ED, I think it's a legitimate question that Shehzad, I think, needs to answer or has already answered. Why has it taken 11 years for ED to bring out a charge sheet? But the fact of the matter is, I must inform my good friend Nikhil that in the PMLA cases, the conviction rate of the same ED that he's poo-pooing is 96% in the cases where the adjudication has been made. It is another matter that in the overall cases where adjudication has not been made, the conviction rate is less than 1%, i.e. out of almost 6,000 cases that the ED has proceeded with and are in the court right now, hardly less than 1% have been adjudicated on. But would you say, Nikhil, my good friend, that's the fault of government as well? Is the government the judiciary? So please put the blame where it is due. Now, third point. Let me explain very briefly what the actual scam is in layman's language. The scam is that my good friend Nikhil had an HMT watch and he exchanged it for a Rolex. That's exactly what it is. And he's showing around, the time that Rolex hai. For 50 lakhs, Rahul Gandhi got something that is worth 2,000 crores. How can that happen? In any civilized country, this not only smells of scam, it tastes of scam, it is scam. There is no two ways about it. But Shehzad has already told you've already in your primer told the intricacies of it, that why 90 crore debt and all those loans are thing. I don't want to go into that. I want to ask a very simple factual question. Is it not a fact that Herald House, which is worth 350 to 400 crores, a prime Lutyens zone property, was held as a collateral by AJ to buy a property in Panchkula? Now, if there was not a scam, can you please, Nikhil, explain why on earth, especially after the initial charge sheet was filed, would AJ bring Herald House as collateral? Please explain that.
And this is Young Indian supposed to be not for profit. So where is all the money gone? Nikhil
See,
Jain.
that's the point, Anand. That's the point, Anand, that when you're trying to create an organization that has certain businesses, the revenue stream is also put into expenses. None of the money has moved into the pockets of the Gandhis or any particular politician in the Congress party.
They own
Right.
76% of the.
1 minute. Mera bas simple.
Has any money moved into their pockets?
No, one minute.
Are they using any of those properties? Are they renting out those properties?
All those
living in
properties
those
are being
properties?
rented. The ED has actually turned around and said कि अब rent हमको भरोगे आप. Shehzad Poonawalla is waving his hand frantically. There's so much more. Yes, Shehzad.
Let me.
Can I first respond to a small point that Anand
tell Mr.
made?
Nikhil.
Yeah,
Nikhil,
let him
give you
allow
some
him the
facts,
intervention and then you can
respond,
continue, Nikhil. Yeah,
comprehensively.
please. Yes. Yes, Shehzad.
Nikhil, first of all, the income tax deals with the fact that the rental income out of all these properties, namely Herald House, namely AJL House Bandra, namely Lucknow, Panchkula, Patna, Indore and Bhopal properties, which go to the tunes of hundreds of crores, has been going, the beneficial interest, this is called beneficial interest, has been going to the first family which is controlling young Indians. That is the entire point. Congress people keep coming and saying title of property has not been changed. Of course, title of the property can't be changed. It's
Why
not
do
the
you need
question
to
the
change
title
that?
has been changed. The question is that the beneficial interest has been transferred. The High Court has also held this, point number one. Point number two, Mr. Nikhil Jain, this issue started when a private person, Mr. Subramaniam Swamy, filed a complaint in a court of law. In such cases, no need for charge sheet immediately, like in other cases. This is already at a stage of cognizance being taken by the court. In fact, when the provisional attachment order was given by the tribunal, instead of giving 180 days, it in fact gave ED 365 days to file the charge sheet in the attachment case. So therefore you can see how much confidence even the courts or the authorities have in the agencies, because the agencies are doing a fair job. And as rightly said by Anand, in PMLA cases, the agency has a 97 or 98% conviction rate. So Mr. Nikhil Jain, please accept the truth and you tell me one thing. Why is it that the property of 2,000 crores beneficial interest is given to somebody for 50 lakhs? Why didn't Congress take it over? Why didn't Congress just say to AJL, chalo maaf kar diya lo 90 crores?
Okay, no, it's
why did it transfer it to YI? Why?
Not just that. Say the classic HMT versus Rolex. Rolex आपका पेन मैं रहा हूँ. But the title has not changed. So where am I the beneficiary? And you're saying I'm not the beneficiary. So that's another crux, Nikhil. The other thing is, sir, okay, if this was a not-for-profit organization, where is all this money? You yourself said all the three publications are not even in circulation. So where is the money?
No, Anand, so first of all, I did say that they're not in physical circulation to the best of my knowledge, but I'm not to say that Associate Journals Limited is not doing anything. They are running a media organization. National Herald does have a website that takes in the expenses. So when Shehzad talks about the beneficial interest transferring to the Gandhis, let's also understand that the corresponding liabilities are also transferring to the Gandhis, if indeed that is what we are saying. Because it's basically like I am giving you a piece of land for 100 crores. But I give it to you for 1 crore. But I am not telling you that there are 120 crore worth of dues and loans and pending liabilities and operational expenses relating to that land. Obviously, I'm not going to transfer it at the asset price.
Okay, there is again a frantic waving of hands. So let Nikhil complete this time and then you respond, Shehzad Poonawalla.
Right. And before he goes with his frantic waving of hands, let me also talk about the conviction rate of the ED, which Anand Naganathan pointed out, that the ED has 6,000 cases going on right now. In 25 cases, the adjudication has been complete. 24 cases, there has been a conviction in favor of the ED.
43.
No.
Last I checked it was 25.
It's ED versus PMLA cases. So what data was cited was under PMLA cases, not the overall cases being investigated by the ED. So ये दोनों में data का fight है. You will claim one data which favors you.
No.
Dr. Ranganathan will claim the other data that favors him.
I cited both data.
I'm using the same data. Using the same data.
Okay.
I am not disputing that. And to the best of my knowledge, ED by and large only investigates PMLA offences. That being apart, the point is that the ED does not complete the cases or the trial process of more than 98% of the cases that it has registered. Now, Anand Naganathan says that it is the judiciary to blame for this, but he's forgetting the fact that so far as filing the charge sheet is concerned, so far as examining the witnesses is concerned, all of that is to be done by the ED. Now, you can ask any lawyer.
We are having a debate. At least there is one consensus. 11 साल बहुत ज़्यादा हो गए. अब खत्म करो इसको. Let's just take it to fruition. If there is culpability, prove it in court, get the punishment, and then nobody is going to claim vendetta then. But yes, Shehzad Poonawalla. to the aspect of liabilities have also been taken over.
One second. Yes, both aspects. First of all, as far as conviction rate is concerned, you can only come to a conviction rate when the matter goes to trial. The agency can file charge sheet, matter has to be taken up and completed in trial by court. The matters which have gone to trial, which are number 24 or 25, out of that conviction rate is 23 out of 25, which means 95% plus. Yeah, as far as charge sheets are concerned, please go and check the record. ED has filed charge sheets in almost all cases. In fact, what used to be a 5,000 crore rupee attachment during the UPA tenure has now increased to 1 lakh crore of attachment, and none of it has been returned back to the absconders or the accused. Now let me come to the other point.
You have punished
Arey
people
bhai sahab,
without trial.
Everyone knew by the back. Please, Mr. Jain, I did not interrupt you. Even a simple back of the envelope calculation would tell you that AJL had properties worth at least 2,000 crores, maybe more than that, and the debt, maximum debt on AJL was 90 crores. Now my question is, if you are offering me this deal, I am happy to take it. It is not a case that it was 100 crores ka property and 150 crore ka debt. Please don't misrepresent. It was 2,000 crore ka property, 90 crore ka debt. Debt is taken over by Congress party. That debt of Congress party is assigned to Young Indians for 50 lakh rupees, and then the Congress party then forgives the loan for Young Indians but not for AJL. And you know why? Because who was head of Congress party? Sonia Gandhi. Who was the head of AJL? Sonia Gandhi. And who was head of YI? Sonia Gandhi. So Sonia Gandhi decided that Sonia Gandhi should get 2,000 crore property in place of 90 crore loan, and then Sonia Gandhi gave that 90 crore loan for 50 lakh rupees to Sonia Gandhi, and then Sonia Gandhi decided that Sonia Gandhi, who has taken the loan for 50 lakh rupees, should now be waived of the loan so that Sonia Gandhi can keep the 2,000 crore property. किसको बेवकूफ बना रहे सर?
And the rent is across. I'm just saying it's a not for profit organization. But where are so obviously there is some profit and benefit. We've just got news. Dr. Ranganathan, coming to you after this. Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju has spoken with Arunima on this. It's just coming in. Let's listen in.
Enforcement Directorate has filed a charge sheet in the National Herald matter, and LOP Rahul Gandhi and former UPA chairperson Sonia Gandhi have been named in that case. They say this is BJP's political vendetta. They are calling it a witch hunt.
If you don't act against any corruption, then again they will accuse that the government is not taking steps or the agencies are not doing anything to check the corruption. If the agencies start working, then they accuse the agencies of witch hunt or political vendetta. What is that? If somebody is clean, then why to worry about? You shouldn't even bother about it, because the courts are not blind. The Indian courts are well known for delivering justice.
But the Congress party was up in arms today. On the one hand was this charge sheet, on the other hand 2 days of Robert Vadra's questioning. It could go on to day 3 also.
Arunima, you must understand, if there is a corruption charge sheet or action against any other normal Congress workers or leaders, they will never protest. But when it comes to Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi or Robert Vadra or Priyanka Vadra, they will make hue and cry. Please understand, we all are citizens of this country. Everybody is equal before the law. But just because some people belong to a privileged family, they want to put all the party workers on the street. This is a matter to be handled by the appropriate authorities, and let the judiciary take a call. We must have trust and faith in the Indian judicial system.
But is this an unprecedented kind of a situation where an LOP could well be in custody if the court takes cognizance of the charge sheet and the trial begins?
Chief ministers have gone to jail. Former prime ministers have gone to jail. What are you saying? Nobody is above law in this country.
So former CMs, former PMs can go. Why not LOP? Nobody is above law. Dr. Ranganathan?
No, see, I mean, my good friend Nikhil said, it's not just that the 90 crore loan was paid and, that Mr. Gandhi and Miss Sonia Gandhi came into suddenly, property worth 2,000 crores. They also came into liability. I want to ask a very simple question. Look at the sleight of hand. कि भाई 2000 करोड़ रुपए नहीं मिले, बेचारों को टैक्स लाइबिलिटी मतलब लाइबिलिटी लॉसेस मिल गई. I want to ask Nikhil, can you please tell me in the amount how much tax arrears have been slapped on the Congress party and on Priyanka Gandhi? Please tell me just the amount, liability.
Anand, I would require the enforcement directorate to tell that. I am not their lawyer, I am not their CA, I am not the tax department, I am not the enforcement directorate. That is my point. If what Shehzad is saying is correct, it's such an open and shut case. Why has it not been shut in the past 11 years? Why are the Gandhis not behind bars? That's my entire point. The entire case is bogus. That's all that I'm saying.
So you're not asking the courts that, you're asking BJP that. Just for a clarification.
As you ask any lawyer, they'll tell you how lawyers and prosecutors have their way of delaying cases. They will not examine witnesses, they will not present witnesses, they will not cross-examine witnesses, they will not file the charge sheets on time. Oh, you
Okay.
both can laugh around.
Correct. You made a fair point.
I
Fair
very
point,
well know
Nikhil.
that
You should
know
ask.
how matters are
You should
delayed.
ask Shehzad Poonawala, when did Dr. Subramanian Swamy say that the ED now needs to investigate the matter further? Is it not around 2018, if my memory serves me right? When has a prosecution complaint been filed by the Enforcement Directorate? Their last harkat on this matter happened in March 2025. And then April 2025, around 9th and 8th and 9th of April, when they moved to seize some of the assets. Why has the prosecution complaint been filed only around the 11th or 12th of April 2025? Shehzad Poonawala. You yourself said this matter came to light during UPA time in 2012.
Anand, you're absolutely right. I'll explain. Anand, first of all, the FIR in that sense was registered by the court. After that, the matter goes to the ED because there's a predicate offence. After that, the ECIR was immediately registered by the ED. The ED first files an ECIR on the basis of which it commences its investigation. Also, in this case or in many of these money laundering cases, you have to establish a chain of events. Only then should you be filing a charge sheet. You cannot short circuit the process and file a charge sheet which is not complete in every aspect and then pay a price for it in court. You're not talking about ordinary personalities. Let us be clear. You're talking about the leader of opposition of this country. And therefore, if the leader of opposition is involved in a grave offense, it is the duty of the agencies to not just make sure to double check that all the allegations they are making about a person who has a very important position should be complete, because nobody should be hounded. No, nobody should be hounded. But also, when we are making the allegations, they should be extremely serious and they should not be dealt with in a light manner. The court should not be saying in a situation that, look, you have not done a proper job. So this has taken time, so it has been done. But I'm saying that either you say that there is vendetta or either you say it's too much delay. What is Mr. Nikhil Jain and his party saying? Please confirm that.
In this case, it is not up to what Mr. Nikhil Jain or the Congress party is saying. It's about what you are doing as Sarkar. क्योंकि कोई सरकार से LOP बन गए, कोई NAC के हेड से राज्यसभा MP बन गए, आपका केस अब भी चल रहा है सर.
ऐसा है, देखिए आनंद, again once again, just 10 seconds, Anand ji, just 10 seconds more. The first time Lalu went to jail was in 97 when UF government was there. The first time charge sheet was filed was when Congress government was there. Then the first time Lalu got conviction, first time, was in 2013. Lalu finally went to jail after 34 years. This is an issue. I agree that the process of justice works a little slowly, criminal justice, especially in case of politicians, but it is not always the fault of the investigating agencies. So therefore, we have now got a new set of criminal laws which will hopefully take cognizance and make sure that there is speedy trial. But having said that, I am asking that now when this has been done, why is it being said that Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi are above accountability? That is the moot question.
Okay, Dr. Ranganathan, final word. I have to wind up.
Yeah, no, look, I am the first one to lay the blame at the doorstep of BJP if it merits it. Shehzad knows it only too well. But in this case, let me ask a very simple question. Yes, there is a case to be made, as my good friend Nikhil says, the delay has been caused by ED. But if the Supreme Court can lay a guideline and a deadline for the President of India to adjudicate within 3 months, why on earth has it not put a deadline on the ED to complete its investigation? आप किसको blame करोगे? In this case, the government cannot be blamed. The only blame has to lie at the judiciary.
Okay. In this case, the matter has not yet reached the Supreme Court. Will it reach the Supreme Court? Let's see. April 25th, what happens in the Rouse Avenue court at the heads of the Judge Vishal, we'll have to see. Vishal Gogne. We'll see what Justice Gogne says there. For the moment, we're going to pause this conversation. We'll take it forward. Prima facie open and shut case of malpractice is somewhere the courts had recorded. Whether they continue to hold that opinion, we'll wait and watch. Dr. Ranganathan, Shehzad Poonawalla, stay on with us. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, the Supreme Court takes cognizance of the violence in Murshidabad, calls it very disturbing. Are the courts concerned a straight rap on the state's knuckles? We ask. Stay with us.
Except they are much larger, and China wants what we have, what every country wants what we have, the American consumer. Or to put it another way, they need our money. So the president, again, has made it quite clear that he's open to a deal with China, but China needs to make a deal with the United States of America.
An open provocation by Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee while she met imams amid the turbulent situation in the state. Listen into what she said.
কিন্তু আপনার প্ল্যানটা কি? আপনাদের প্ল্যানিংটা কি? কোন এজেন্সির মাধ্যমে ওখান থেকে লোক নিয়ে এসে दंगा করা? आप चाहते हैं पोलराइजेशन करने के लिए, हिंदू और मुस्लिम में भागाभागी करने के लिए? आप चाहते हैं क्या आपका जुमला सरकार खाली कहे हम हिंदू का है, हिंदू का है? इट्स ए प्री प्लान्ड कम्युनल राइट्स इफ आई से सो। আর আমি কিন্তু খুঁজে বের করব বর্ডার এরিয়ায় বিএসএফ কাকে কাকে হাত করেছে এবং কিছু বাচ্চা ছেলেকে ৫,০০০-৬,০০০ টাকার বিনিময়ে ইট ছুড়িয়েছে। এটাও কিন্তু আমি খুঁজে বের করব।
Dubbing the violent protest in Murshidabad against the Waqf Act as pre-planned communal riots, Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee alleged that the BSF or the Border Security Force allowed those from outside to enter the state and create chaos. She alleged central government is responsible since BSF guards the borders, not us. State government doesn't have the responsibility to guard the borders. Why did they allow BJP thugs from outside to come and create chaos before fleeing the scene? She blamed the BJP and BSF for stoking violence in the state. Has the Chief Minister and the Home Minister of the state forgotten that law and order is a state subject? Even the top court, while hearing a batch of petitions against the Waqf reform, said that the violence in the state was deeply disturbing. Is the court's concern a rap on the state's knuckles? We ask here. Right now, BJP Bengal DG Rajiv Kumar is meeting people who have come from Murshidabad's Dhulian. Shehzad Poonawalla, national spokesperson of the BJP with us. Professor Manojit Mandal with us. Anand Ranganathan stays on. Namaste. Shehzad Poonawalla, BSF and the BJP have orchestrated this, says Mamata Banerjee.
You see, today Mamata Banerjee has proven that she is not Chief Minister of West Bengal, but in fact she is Chief Minister of just one vote bank or one community. That her Mamata does not lie with the Hindu victims who have to leave their houses, who have faced death, persecution, targeted attack which is state sponsored, or the breaking of their temples. She stands with those who are in fact behind the violence. Look at the pattern. It is the courts which said that the police is not doing a good job, that we cannot keep our eyes shut. The central forces should be deployed there, and Mamata Banerjee is blaming the same central forces. The fact of the matter is that Sagarika Ghosh, who is wife of a prominent journalist also, she's a Rajya Sabha MP, has blamed the people of Bihar. Now, is it the people who are from Bangladesh, as Mamata Banerjee says, or is it the people of Bihar? Or is it an attempt to actually protect those who are behind this danga? Look at the pattern. Firad Hakim says, kuch hua hi nahi. Then you have a bunch of people who are blaming the BSF. Digvijay Singh is blaming BJP, RSS. Somebody else is blaming Biharis and Uttar Pradeshis. All of this indicates that dangaiyon ko bachana hai. And look, who's the real dangai actually? There is a district president of TMC from Dhulian whose statement has come out ke Ailane Jang hoga. He is a TMC member. No action taken on him. No action on Bapi Haldar who says I will gouge your eyes out. No action on that Mia Siddiqullah Chaudhary who says that 10,000 people should come and jam the Kolkata streets. No action on people who are chanting Samvidhan ke upar Sharia hoga. We will not follow the Samvidhan. So clearly it indicates that just like Suravardi in 1946 orchestrated the killings and the targeting of Hindus, today you have another version of that entire situation playing out in West Bengal. And I know many people will be inclined to say, why not President's rule, Rashtrapati Shasan? But I am telling you that Rashtrapati Shasan is not the option because of the Supreme Court and the kind of things that it has imposed on the imposition of President rule. But yes, there will be Rashtravadi Shasan very soon in West Bengal, and that Rashtravadi Shasan will ensure that this killing spree and the violence spree comes to an end.
Professor Manojit Mandal.
I do not really wish to dignify the comment of an avowedly commendable person on TV, but the pattern is very simple. It's BJP's copybook style of creating riot-like situation, foment trouble, create violence, and then bring in central agencies like NIA and the Human Rights Commission to completely hush up the narrative. This is BJP's way of dealing with things. It is amply clear on the face of it that the initial turbulence, the violence was perpetrated by outsiders. Whether they have come from outside the state and also from outside the country is being investigated into. But yes, there are credible information. Even your channel was talking about it yesterday, that some people from Bangladesh have entered. Who are these people? How could they enter? How could they cross the border? It's very simple. Unless and until a section of the BSF in complete collusion with these people, they can't enter, because manning the border is the primary responsibility of the BSF. What is Mr. Amit Shah is doing? This has been there for a very long period of time. You showed your report, quote-unquote report from the Minister of Home Affairs. Only because of the outsiders, this trouble was fomented for only one single day. Things are absolutely calm and normal now. But look at the kind of incendiary speeches being made by responsible BJP leaders. I'm not talking about the spokesperson of the BJP. He is not that kind of a responsible leader. But Shubhendu Adhikari, but Sukanta Majumdar, look at what he did. Look at what he did by tweeting all these things. the fact remains that you can't fight Mamtadi on the issue of development. You will continue this till 2026. Again, the similar kind of pattern that you had in 2020. You had NRC in 2020, exactly 5 years ago, just before election in three very important states, Assam, West Bengal and Kerala. And now you have brought in this particular law to again foment trouble. And I think Supreme Court has rightly intervened. Supreme Court on the face of it saying that this would be a serious slap on the face of the government. You cannot implement that. Supreme Court has categorically stated, and it will continue. I believe the good sense prevail, and Supreme Court completely strike down this law, as it was done in case of CAA. So it was not struck down, but the BJP could not implement for over 4 years. Even now, CAA, I don't know how it is implemented, how many people
now
are
we're
getting
digressing.
benefit of
Professor
it,
Manojit
but
Mandal.
This law is
Professor Manojit Mandal, you're an academic, you're a political voice. I'm going to only make one request. Let's not have personal jibes or barbs at fellow colleagues. Mr. Shehzad Poonawalla, and I just want to put it on record very humbly. Please hear me out. He has not made a single comment personally against you. If he does that, I will reprimand him too. I would request you, please make your arguments. You're welcome to criticize the BJP. You're welcome to criticize their leaders. But to make personal comments on fellow panelists is beneath our own abilities and intellect.
Please.
I will just rest the matter there.
Anand, no, hang on. No, you need to reply. I have no issue with Mr. Shehzad Poonawalla, but definitely when he's appearing as a spokesperson, I'm criticizing the spokesperson, not the person.
What happens is that it's a very thin line. Please hear me out. We're wasting important time on the conversation. Let's get back to the debate. You can call sir. You can call comments irresponsible. You can call comments. But what happens is, sir, it's a thin line. It's a thin line. I would like everybody to stay on the right side of the line, not flirt with the grey areas. Professor Manojit, we are wasting important time on something which we just need to be cognizant of. And I implore everyone. I implore everyone. And if anyone crosses the line, I will tell.
Let's move on, Anand.
Yeah, let's move on here. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan.
Anand, for 30 years, the Supreme Court never found illegal an act that gave Muslims the power to claim any property as their own, that allowed them to annex any land housing a functional operational mosque. But today, it sits to adjudicate whether a version that curtails these draconian excesses is illegal or not. For 30 years, the Supreme Court never found non-secular an act that gave Muslims the power to use thousands of crores of taxpayers' money to conduct survey of religious property. For 30 years, the Supreme Court never found unjust that a parallel extrajudicial tribunal decided the fate of the aggrieved whose land and property was claimed and usurped. But today it sits to adjudicate whether a version that curtails the draconian is illegal or not. And you still claim that this country is not a banana republic. The fact of the matter is that we have been guilt-tripped into giving away our property, our schools, our temples, our rights, and finally our faith. Look, Anand, I have nothing against the Waqf board. Why should anyone? Countless boards, charities, NGOs exist. The problem for me always was the Waqf Act that weaponized the Waqf board, because world over, disputes over property are settled using courts and existing laws that are community and religion agnostic. So why should a particular religious community be armed with another set of laws, those that are patently discriminatory towards member of another community, as a primary instrument of defense or offense? The fact is, every mosque in India is built on Sanatan land, including Jama Masjid. Tomorrow, if a Hindu board armed through a Waqf equivalent Sanatan Act claims Jama Masjid, how would Muslims feel if they have to first plead their case in front of a Sanatan tribunal rather than approach a court? But there is no point repeating all this. My view on Waqf Act has been known for 2 years. I wanted it abrogated. But as they say, perfect is the enemy of good. Given that the Waqf Act is not going to be abrogated, the next best option at least is an act that amends its many draconian clauses. Also, if the Islamists had usurped 20 lakh acres in the last 10 years through the weaponization of the Waqf Act, at least their annexation would be ebbed through the Waqf Amendment Act. But today is the day of reflection. Just 30 seconds, Anand. a day where we have witnessed so many of our leaders fight to preserve an act that is discriminated against 1 billion Hindus, a day where we seen open dog whistling by sitting chief ministers, but not only refusing to follow the Waqf Amendment Act, but also by advising those who write it not to be provoked. Let me be cynical here. What's the solution? 10 seconds. I think the lesson we all have learnt is that Islamists and their lapdogs will not yield. So if the government cannot remove discriminatory acts, it should reward the discriminated with equivalent discriminatory acts. So keep the Waqf Act, bring on a Sanatan Act, keep control of Hindu temples, bring mosques under state control, keep RTE discrimination against Hindu schools, bring Muslim schools under it. If you cannot remove discrimination against Hindus, reward them with it.
So discriminate across the board if you cannot remove discrimination. So that's the perfect is the enemy of good. Yes, Shehzad Poonawala.
Now see, there is a contradiction between what Monojit Mandal is saying and what his leaders are saying. Firhad Hakim says kuch hua hi nahi. Monojit comes here and says ke Bangladeshis have done it. And then he says BSF is responsible. Sir, when BSF wanted jurisdiction of 50 kilometers, who opposed it? When BSF wanted to fence 450 kilometers, who has opposed it? So today you say on record that Mamata Banerjee has allowed the fence to be open. She has allowed that the BSF cannot be free to function for 50 kilometers and she regrets that, and Firhad Hakim is wrong. And no, responsible leader, I'll tell you sir, responsible leader is one who has come from I think another part of the country. He has all the right, but he is now busy sipping tea even as areas around his constituency burn. Mr. Yusuf Pathan. Imported Mr. Yusuf Pathan sips tea, that is responsibility. One Mr. Derrick says, I am eating machli for Sunday lunch. What are you having? Almost when Hindus are getting devoured by the jihadi violence, he is asking what are you having for lunch? That is responsible leadership. Secular leadership is when you call Mahakum Mrityukum, when you say Ganda Dharm for Sanatan, and when you tell that doodh dene wali guy hai Muslim vote bank, I will take its kicks. But somebody says Jai Shri Ram, they are put in jail. This is secular leadership. I just have one question to ask Mr. Mandal. Mr. Mandal, Das Parivar, what did they have to do with the Waqf Act? Why have they been killed? And when will Mamata Banerjee, who was busy with the Maulana and Imam today, convincing them, when will she go to the Hindus in Murshidabad who have faced persecution? Can you please answer that? Please tell us, is she going tomorrow?
Yes.
Yes, Professor Mandal. We got some more inputs to share, but yes, quick response, please.
Yes, there is the problem with the spokesperson. When he is, functioning as a spokesperson, doesn't have the proper information. Like the constituency, whose constituency it is the constituency of Ishaq Khan, not Yusuf Pathan. Correction number 1. Correction number 2, this Das Parivar, Das family,
did I say it is his constituency where it happened?
Let him respond. Yeah, please don't interrupt.
I said it is next to his constituency.
He said next to his constituency, so that's also there on record. Yeah, please respond.
Doesn't matter. So
yeah, please continue.
Point number two about the Das family. Both the families belong to CPIM. They had a personal issue with the family of the killers. Yes, no, please don't react like this. Don't react like this. The things are coming out. Don't worry about this. Even the CPIM, Muhammad Salim visited their place saying that they are their comrade. They have not said that this is because of communal tension. The killings are purely appearing to be personal reasons. So please do not appropriate the unfortunate dead bodies of these people.
Okay.
For God's sake.
I have limited time, but Professor Mandal, does it matter? Does it matter what their political background is? Because Ms. Mamata Banerjee, is she the chief minister only for Trinamool Congress cadre or all of them?
Because you are riding on this unfortunate day saying that this is because of the riot. That's why it mattered. It's extremely unfortunate.
Right, but she should be the first to go. Shouldn't we? Is she choosing to go there last? Is a question. Point taken. Let's Professor Mandal, let's accept your point of view that this is a personal rivalry that they were fixed during the riots.
Not rivalry, it's a familial problem.
Whatever your case is, let's say that. But does that mean that Ms. Mamata Banerjee will not go and meet that family and their death doesn't matter? Their death is all right. It's trivial. That's the question many are asking. I've got limited time. I have to share this and then I'll come back. Please allow me this. I don't have time. I have to share this.
Let me answer.
This is another dimension. I'm just putting that point of view there and let people decide on this. Now, Manoj Kumar Gupta is getting us some more input. Now, this is again worrying for anybody and everybody. All Bharatiya need to take care of this and be mindful. Agencies are investigating the involvement of the Shahadat module in protests against the Waqf Act through group Darsgah Jihadu Shahadat. This is the DJOS. Now, which has opposed the legislation. This scenario is very similar to cases involving PFI and SDPI. Why this modus operandi is similar, please pay attention, viewers. Agencies believe that both groups share Islamist networks that connect the module with protests, and the evidence includes ideological ties with foreign influences. Evidence from this protest suggests that indirect connection between the Shahadat module and the Darsgah Jihadu Shahadat, an Islamist group based in Hyderabad with branches in Kerala known for radicalization. This group actively participated in Waqf protests and organized rally at Darul Shifa grounds in Hyderabad on the 11th of April against the Waqf Act. Now, the Darsgah Jihadu Shahadat claims to have trained about 50,000 people in self-defense techniques and has been accused of links to the Al-Qaeda and numerous terror attacks across Bharat. The group's active participation in Waqf protests such as the rally in Hyderabad directly connects it to the Shahadat module's network. The Shahadat module is a terror group that was busted in West Bengal in June 2024, is connected to Waqf protests in April 2025 through its association with this DJOS. This connection highlights how Islamist groups are influencing both radical activities and also community protests, despite challenges in pinpointing specific roles. This is an important matter. We need to dwell on this. I have run out of time, but we will take this forward here on this edition of The Right Stand. So there are those who are working, Islamist radical groups working behind the scenes, stoking unrest, indulging in violence while also trying to come there as community protests, while using online and offline platforms to pollute the minds and corrupt the minds of young people, youth, and goading them into acting like they did perhaps in Murshidabad and in Bengal. That's what Intel Note is saying. There's more details, but we're winding up this edition of The Right Stand on that note. I thank all our panelists. Thank you very, very much.
Brought to you by
except they are much larger, and China wants what we have, what every country wants, what we have, the American consumer. Or to put it another way, they need our money. So the president, again, has made it quite clear that he's open to a deal with China, but China needs to make a deal with the United States of America.
Oh, okay. Yeah, oh, good. Nice to meet you.
except they are much larger. And China wants what we have, what every country wants, what we have, the American consumer. Or to put it another way, they need our money. So the president, again, has made it quite clear that he's open to a deal with China, but China needs to make a deal with the United States of America.
Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. The Supreme Court today heard a batch of petitions that challenged the Waqf Act, which was recently passed by the Parliament. It was a fiery day of arguments by counsels who were representing the petitioners, Kapil Sibal, Rajiv Dhawan, also the Solicitor General who was representing the government. But the court very quickly got to the moot point, and the moot point is this. The most contentious clause is the Waqf by user clause, where a Waqf board can claim any property as Waqf by user if certain Islamic religious practices were followed there for a lengthy period of time, even if there were no adequate papers to prove ownership of that particular property. This is what we saw in Munambam, this is what we saw in Tiruchendurai, and this is what we're seeing now in Vellore in Tamil Nadu. The court